Welcome back, everyone. Finally, we are back again, reunited, dynamic duo. We are back for another episode of Cultural Corner. And on this week's episode, we're going to do a bit of a transfer roundup. With the season starting, a lot of the big transfers are already done. A few minor ones could be on the way, but the major ones are all done. Season started. We're going to do a little game here for each. Each of us are going to choose 4 transfers that we think are big talking points or the major ones of this summer. And we're going to get a minute and a half to talk about each of them, give our quick thoughts on it. So let's get right into the video. All right, so to kickstart it off, we'll start with Lewa to Barca. So we got the timer going, minute and a half, let's get shit going. This is a big signing. Like, Barca now have added so much depth. They have Rafinha, they kept Dybala. I don't know if they're going to keep Depay, but Lewa, a proven goal scorer, he fits that team perfectly because they need someone to just bang in the goals. Link up plays great. He's a good presser. We know he can score. He scores almost 40 goals a season, every season in the league. Now he's playing more games. There's a few more in the Liga than there is in Bundesliga. I think this is a perfect signing. Like, you look at someone who they needed in that position, a star player. I know he's getting up there in age. I know his wages will be a bit high, but he's literally the perfect player they needed in that role. With how much service he'll get from midfield and on the wings, there's no way he doesn't score at least 25 goals in a season.
Yeah, he'll definitely destroy La Liga, I think. I don't think they'll win the title, just because I think Real Madrid are just way above, but Lewandowski is such a good addition to Barca. I feel like last year they struggled for goals a bit.
Yeah.
Luke de Jong, Depay, both gone now. But I think Lewandowski is a perfect fit, along with Rafinha. I think they'll link up well, honestly. But I'm convinced there's money laundering involved. So
I don't know
how it's happening.
I don't know how they get so much money, but they do somehow. We'll see how it works. I think it'll be a very close 2-horse race, them and Real.
My first talking point is not so much a single transfer. It's more of transfers into an entire league. I'm going to talk about the MLS. First up, we have TFC making the big name signings of the Italians: Bernardeschi, Insigne, Criscito. Then you have LAFC getting Gareth Bale, probably the biggest signing in my opinion, Chiellini, and even Shaqiri going to Chicago Fire. I think this whole transfer saga in the MLS, you can call it a retirement league, but they're just making this league better.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're bringing more attention to it. They're bringing more fans in. I live in Toronto. I see the effects that these transfers have on the fan base. I see more people going to TFC games. They want to watch now. And I think it's good for the sport and the country. That's just my opinion. I think if I had to choose the players who have the most impact out of all those players, it's going to be Bernardeschi and Bale for me.
Yeah,
so far, I've been very impressed with Bernardeschi at TFC. He played a great first game against Charlotte there.
Almost scored a worldie last game from outside the area. But yeah, they're big signings. Like, obviously, we had Canada make the World Cup. Now you have the attraction that TFC is getting. Like, every home game is going to be packed. Like, yeah. The game that both of them played,
especially with the Italian culture we have in Toronto.
Yeah, like, it was a full stadium. Like, the difference from the games that they weren't playing till now, even for a team that is far from the playoffs, like, they're getting a lot of fans because you just don't see talent like that every day.
Next season could be very interesting for TFC. The second transfer I have here is Sadio Mane to Bayern from Liverpool. Sadio Mane is a great addition to Bayern, especially replacing Robert Lewandowski. I think he fits in well with the pace. He's got Gnabry, Coman, Muller, Kimmich, Sane, all providing him service. And we know he can perform in these big games, as we've seen at Liverpool. So I think this is a good addition for the Champions League run that Bayern are going to try and go on, and for their dominance in the league. And I think he'll strive in a league like the Bundesliga. It's easier than the Premier League, and we saw what he can do in the Premier League for multiple years. So, I mean, I think it's just a great investment, a great signing.
Yeah, plus the way the Bundesliga is, it's very open. A lot of teams play a very high line. They press really high, so there's a lot of space in behind the defense. So someone like Mane can easily expose that. We've seen that with Liverpool, the way he can attack space. So I think it's literally a perfect signing. And for some reason, it never felt like Nagelsmann, the Bayern coach, not that he didn't like Lewa, but there just didn't seem like he could get him firing.
There was a bit of issues even with some other in the back
something didn't click. And even at Leipzig, he never really played with a striker. Like in Kunku, he'd always start up top, or Dani Olmo. Like, he never Werner. Like, he never really had like a proper number 9. It was always someone who was dynamic running in behind. And I think that's what exactly he was going to get with Mane. So it's, in my opinion, a perfect signing for the team and exactly how Nagelsmann
Perfect
wants
signing
to play.
and a fresh start for the Robert Lewandowski era.
So for my second, I'm going to go the big one of this summer, Erling Haaland to City. We kind of saw this coming. Like City, they were going to go for a striker. Obviously, the last two Champions League runs ending disappointing fashion. Champions League final, they lose. Then the Real Madrid collapse. But they needed that little more to push them over the edge. Playing with a no striker for 2 years, they didn't necessarily lose those Champions Leagues because of that. But there's certain half chances that a non-striker wouldn't put away that someone like Haaland will.
It really would have helped.
But this is going to be interesting. Like, it's not just, I don't think he's just going to hit the ground running. I think he'll get his goals, but to fully see City playing as a fluid team with him in the team, I think it'll take a few months, because the way Pep plays, it takes players a little bit of time to get used to it, especially he's never really done well with like an out-and-out striker. I've seen with Ibra, he's very like controlling in the way his players move in attack. So City's going to have to get used to him. He's going to have to get used to City. So it's going to be like a connection between the two. So it won't be hitting the ground running, but I think there's no way he's not going to do well.
Yeah, I think he's going to do at least over 15 goals, in my opinion.
Oh, easily.
There's that debate between him or Nunez, in my opinion. It's Haaland just, he edges it, because we've seen what he can do. That guy's incredible on the Champions League stage. Yeah. So he's going to really help push City to a new heights.
So for my number 3, I'm going Kalidou Koulibaly to Chelsea. This one for me is an absolutely outstanding transfer for not only the player but for the team. I know you'll have something to say as an Arsenal fan, but how much they got him for, the transfer business there straight up is just unreal. He easily slides into at least a top 3 center back in that league. He's that good. We saw with Napoli, top defender, aggressive center back, perfect for the way Chelsea want to play with a high line. He fits them perfectly. He can play both right and left center back, two-footed player, can play either side of a back 3, can play this in a back 4. He's just a flexible player. I think that's exactly what Chelsea needed, especially with what's been going on with their transfer business. They haven't been able to get players in right away. We've seen kind of lingering with their transfers with certain players. Koulibaly got him done right away, slides in perfectly. Decent age too. He still has some years left in him. I think this is literally a perfect 10 out of 10 signing for the player and the club.
He's been a solid defender for years in Serie A there with Napoli. And I think, honestly, Napoli kind of scammed Juve. They wanted big money for him because they're league rivals, threw him to Chelsea for next to nothing. Yeah, and that's like great business. Million. Great business from the new owner of Chelsea there, Boldy. But I think Koulibaly will do well, even though I'm an Arsenal fan. And he's a good replacement considering the loss of Christensen and Rudiger this summer. Yeah. So I think it's a good signing. Him and Thiago Silva could do well, or even if they get big Kimpembe there.
Yeah, or Cucurella.
My next one is Gabriel Jesus from Man City to Arsenal. I think Arsenal really hit the gold mine here, honestly. Yeah. I know it's just preseason, and I can't really judge the rest of the season off that, but he's hit the ground running so far. Done really well. The last game against Sevilla there, 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, added another one later on. He's kind of what Arsenal have been missing for years. They couldn't, not years, but last year in particular, or the year before when Alba was struggling. Yeah. With Lacazette last year, he was abysmal. I couldn't believe Jada Smith over there. He was terrible. But Jesus is a great addition. He didn't get to shine as much as he should have, I think, at City, just because of Pep's system, I think. Yeah. But now he's got the full chance at Arsenal. He's going to be starting every game. And he's got good service from Odegaard, his fellow countryman, Gabi Martinelli. They've already been linking up well. Even Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe there as well. Yeah. I think it's just an outstanding transfer. And it may sound biased, but I think he's going to change a lot for Arsenal this season, even go on a cheeky Europa League run.
He's hit the ground running. Again, it is preseason, but there's been a lot of good moments with him.
That goal against Chelsea in Florida, the chip.
Yeah, he's had a lot of good moments, and the way he moves across the front 3, he links up so well with everyone. He's just such a versatile player that he'll fit into that team pretty seamlessly, and he's already played in not a similar system, but Arteta and Pep, they have very similar principles. I think he'll be a terrific player in that team. They wanted something like that with Lacazette, but he just doesn't offer that. He's just not good enough on the ball to play like how Jesus does. But I think Jesus is going to be absolutely terrific for that team.
So my final one's going to be Paulo Dybala leaving Juventus to the biggest club in Rome, Roma.
That's so false.
He
So
got
false.
It's already looking like he's loving it there. The incredible reception we've seen on social media. It's kind of like they won a trophy, to be honest. So
No, it doesn't happen
celebrate
very
what they can.
often.
But he's just gonna. I think he's gonna be good for Roma under Mourinho as well. I think he can thrive. Mourinho knows how to bring out the best in players. That's why he's a special one. That's why he's done so much. So I think Dybala is going to be a good addition to that Roma team.
Just chatting a lot of bullshit.
They're a Roma team that's improving. They've just got Wijnaldum today, and I think it's going to be a good season for them. Title challenging, possibly, especially with Dybala coming in, providing service. It's a good squad. You can't lie, Dybala's a good signing.
So lucky it's
For
only
free.
a minute. So lucky it's only like 90 seconds per thing. Oh my god. Sure, he'll probably do well if he stays fit, which is a big question mark. I don't remember the last time he's even played like 30 games in a season, maybe like 4 years ago. But probably do well. There's a lot of options around them. I don't know how they'll fit Pellegrini, Zaniolo, Abraham. I think one of them has to go.
Stinks anyway.
Probably Zaniolo goes, especially if they keep 3-4-3. Have him and Pellegrini and Dybala as the two attacking mids. Could do well. Couple false statements. They're definitely not the biggest club in Rome.
Him and Tammy could be a great link up, especially in the Europa League. 2 European trophies back to back.
That's not happening. I will guarantee right now on Calcio Corner they won't even get to the semis of
Arsenal
Europa
winning
League.
anyway.
No. So now another Serie A club. We're going Pogba to Juve, even though it's not looking too good already. He's out, looking like he'll come back mid-September. But overall, it's a huge transfer. They needed someone like Pogba. They had no creativity in that team, and they're going to struggle. You'll see how they're going to struggle again for creativity this season. Last season, they just got nothing from that midfield. Like, Locatelli could only do so much when you have the likes of Rabiot, a struggling Artur.
Ramsey wasn't even
Ramsey
there. He wasn't even
never
there, but
played.
still.
McKennie was in and out the squad. They got Zakaria, but he didn't play too much. Pogba is actually someone that can add a bit of flair, a bit of creativity. And on paper, Juve's midfield and attack, they look like a strong team. The problem is age, injuries. It'll catch up to them, and it already has. So, you lose Pogba and you start looking like, where's the creativity coming from? That's a bit of an issue. But if they're all firing, you get Chiesa back, you get Vlahovic, you get Di Maria, Pogba on the side. Like, you'll see there'll be some magic. Like, they'll link up very well with each other. Allegri, I'm not a big fan of him, but when Juve was at their best, they played some good football. They played pretty well. He's a manager that does need good players to do well. It's not rocket science, but he's not really a philosopher in the way he plays, so that's why he will struggle with weaker players. But I think when Pogba's back, you have Locatelli in there as well. If they were to get one midfielder, not Savic, someone else, I think they would do really, really well. But we'll see. I think when Pogba's back, I don't think you'll see prime Pogba back, but you'll see a much more motivated Pogba. I think a Pogba that will be back to his very best, not like how he was at United, that's for sure.
If he stays healthy, we could see a beautiful reunion between Allegri and Pogba there.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good transfer for both sides anyway. He was unhappy at United. It was a mess over there. Now he's got a fresh start at Juve, a club he loves, a club he's thrived at. So I think it's a good transfer.
Win-win for both.
Yeah.
That's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Calcio Corner. Let us know down below your favorite transfers or transfers you think are going to hit the ground running right away. There's a few still in the works. Cucurella maybe to Chelsea. Zamata just gone
to Milan. I think it's a great signing. He's going to link up well with Origi. 2 Belgians up top. That could be a problem.
Yeah, that's another one that's been finished. There's a few other ones that have been finalized in the works as well that could be happening soon as the transfer market closes, I believe, end of August?
End of August, yeah.
So season starts really shortly. Quick turnaround. Ready to go. New season. Exciting season. This should be a really good one. And let us know down below any other transfers we should talk about if we should do a part 2 or any of your favorite transfers down below. And we'll catch you guys later. See ya.
See you in a couple weeks.